Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Okay, fantastic. So should I start afresh or we are good where we are?
You can start
continue.
afresh.
Just do a revision. Just run down, sir.
Please start afresh.
It's so funny. So I said,
just do a rundown, sir.
I said that, you know, I've pretty much, I'm going to copy what I've done here and paste it on this image. Can you see the uniformity? Can you see that every time I paste it on a different raw image, it gives me the exact same result? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Good. I'm saying this in response to the person who asked for a preset. I'm not against giving out presets. I want photographers to grow. I'm not in the family of people that hoard knowledge. I have no issues with sharing knowledge. What I want you to do, which is more important than just getting the preset, is to have an understanding of how to do these things. Because if you're able to understand how to do this, you would be able to create your own presets by yourself. Okay, so I've just explained to you that I can take this exact same setting, do a shoot outside in a hot sunny day, and this grade or preset would not work, because here I'm doing it because I'm working in a closed environment in a studio. I've used a particular light setup. I've used a particular settings. So it may not be able to give me the same result if I'm shooting outdoor or anything. So I don't want you to think that, oh, if I use this, then the pictures will start looking like biggish work. Not necessarily, to be honest, because I'm also thinking about the colors that I'm working with here. And I particularly want a kind of blend, you understand, so that it's very, very easy on the eye. And that is why I have chosen this exact setup. I'm going to try and see, maybe we should try 3 different grades. Should we try 3 different grades?
That'll be fine, sir.
Is everybody in on that?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, good. So let me look at this image. It's not my favorite image, or maybe I should go back to, okay, let me just work with this image. What I do when I try to make very minimal changes. I rarely would make a drastic change like this. Do you understand? Or like this. I try to just make very, very minimal, soft, subtle change, because the first point of reference for me when I am color grading or when I am editing is I want the image to look very close to what I saw with my naked eyes. I want the image to look very close to what I saw in my LCD. So I try not to make drastic changes. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. If you're doing fine art portraits and, you know, if I want to change say I want to change the color of her outfit, I can just go to advanced here under color editor, click on it and change the hue. So you can see that now it's looking like purple, here is looking like orange, you know, that kind of thing. I can desaturate and all of that. But I already know from experience that this color tone here and the one on her skin are in the same family. So whatever I do to this color is definitely going to affect the skin. So that is why you see that the skin has changed. Now, Capture One is not very, very good with masking. For those of you that are unfamiliar with it, is I can brush the skin and make sure that whatever I have done here would not affect the skin. I would rather do that in Photoshop. So I'm going to show you how to do that in Photoshop. We have time. I'm not in a hurry, so I can take as many questions. And I'm in a good mood today to share, so you guys don't have any issues. So I'm going to try and edit this picture differently from how I've edited the other one. So again, watch what happens when I try to reduce the green, sorry, the red. I've reduced the red and I've lost a bit of natural skin tone on her skin, and her skin here is starting to look a little bit pale. I don't have a problem with that. I can justify that. I can come back here and reduce my exposure and then add a bit of saturation to the image. It's still looking very, very different from the one that we've done initially. Now, let's work on the greens, okay? Let me go back to the red. Whenever I work on my red and I reduce red, it adds some green hues to my image, okay? When I go to green and I try to reduce green, it adds magenta to my image. So let me show you how that works. Can you see that? Are you guys seeing the difference?
We can see it, sir.
Good. Now, if magenta is your vibe, that's fine. Magenta is not my vibe, okay? So you would never see me project an image like this. I'm all about going very, very close to reality. I'm all about going very, very close to the real skin tone. So this is not my vibe at all. So I've just canceled that, but I'm just trying to show you so that you can have a better understanding on how to work on these things. Now I am on my blue. What I tend to do with this is I can also use this to add some yellow skin tone to my subject. So if I did like this, you can you see that the skin tone is a lot richer? Can you guys see that? Yes. If I took it all the way here, you can see that it is adding blue to my image. Okay. So what I tend to do, edit. Are you guys here?
Sir. Okay, we
can you guys hear?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Good. So what I tend to do with my editing is I don't want to go too far from what I saw with my natural eyes. So I'm showing you the different effects from moving very, very minimally. Rarely would you see me go all the way like this. You don't want your pictures looking like this. There is no human being on earth that looks like this. You don't want your pictures looking like this, except of course, if you're working with color gels, then you can get away with this. But you really want to have as real a skin tone as possible. So I can come back to that very tool that I showed you guys earlier on and go to skin tone and click on my skin tone and see if I can add a little bit of saturation to the skin tone. The next thing that I want to do is something called color balance. Many of you will call it color grade. Many people, like when you look at Bedge, for example, Bedge has a feel to his image. What's his name? Ahami Belemen has a feel. All these great photographers, they have a feel to their image. Sometimes you want to create an identity so that people can easily identify your image. And that's another reason why I'm not such a big fan of selling presets, because I want you to be able to create a niche for yourself. That's one way that you can stand out in the industry. Somebody should be able to look at you and say, oh, this is what Tayo's picture looks like. This is what Bami's picture looks like, because it screams her identity. So another way to do that is just in how you choose to understand colors. Now look at this. Here you would see shadows, you would see midtones, and you would see highlights, okay? Can you see that this is where the highlight is?
Yes, sir.
Can you see that this is where the highlight is as well?
Yes, sir.
So who can tell me where the shadows are in this picture?
Under her eye.
Under her
The
eyes?
other
Okay.
side of her
On
eyes
her
as well.
forehead and her neck.
Then her
And
cheek,
then on her chin.
the down part of her cheek.
Good.
The down part of her cheek.
Good. So this part, this side here, what other color can you see in the hair area? What other color can you see?
We have a bit of highlights
I can
at
see
the top.
green.
You can see
Kind of bluish green.
Like cyan.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You guys are very smart. Now let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that you need to learn to take your photography to the next level. The moment you understand lighting and the moment you understand color, you'll be unstoppable. The moment you know how to wield light, and when I talk about light, everybody's always thinking strobe light. I'm not talking strobe light. I'm just talking about understanding light, whether it is artificial light, whether it is continuous light, whether it is strobe light, whether it is natural light, whatever type of light. The moment you have a great understanding of light, the moment you are able to understand color. So see how I just asked you a simple question, and you could all see that in the shadow areas, there is green, there is this. The next question is, was this thing there at the time that I was shooting? No, which is why I'm more tilted towards this image than I am towards this image. Because here, black is black, orange is orange, a skin tone is the skin tone. The yellow by the eyeshadow is yellow. You don't want to change what you saw with your natural eyes. This is photography, it's not child's play. You're not just popping colors up and down or just trying to do like a kid that is playing with the art book. You're actually trying to create images that look exactly like the person that you were photographing. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You boss my.
Yes, sir.
So let us move to the shadow area, the midtone and the highlight. Now watch what happens to the shadow area. Pay attention because I'm going to ask you this question. Now, I'm now going to move. Okay, let me ask you, what color is here? What's this color?
Blue. Kind
What's
of
this
purple,
color?
blue.
Green.
Green,
Down is
yellow,
green.
Yellow.
orange,
Orange.
Orange.
Red.
purple. Fantastic.
Purple.
So pay attention to the shadow area. Can you see that there is a color tint in the image?
Yes, 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 sir.
Yes.
What
Like
color?
bluish.
What color tint can you see?
Like blue.
Blue.
Fantastic.
Blue.
Now I am still working on the
Blue.
shadow, and I'm going to kind of increase the contrast in the shadow by doing this. What is happening to the image?
More blue.
Our
Deeper.
natural black is coming back.
Fantastic. Is this the same grade as this one?
No, no. It's not.
No.
Sir, please tweak it again. Let's see.
The grade is different, sir.
Can you see that the grade is different?
Very different.
Okay, good. Now, whether you want to be here or you want to be here, that is entirely up to how you have chosen to visually represent your image. Okay? That is entirely up to what you consider to be your identity, number one. And number two, what you think your niche market likes to see. Do you think your market appreciates this? Do you think your client appreciates the fact that this is real, this looks natural? Or do you work with clients that like this very grungy feel and they are okay with you experimenting with colors? You are the only person who can answer that question. I can't answer that question for you. With photography, I don't think there is right or wrong. You understand? I want to stay here. I choose to stay here. This is my identity. This is 9 times out of 10, this is how I would grade this picture. If I gave my raw file to anybody in my studio, they would create this exact same look because we've been able to imbibe it in them and they know how Big H likes his picture. Even if it doesn't look like this, it will come very close to this, okay? I will show you another image and you would see that there is some sort of consistency in the grade. Can you see that?
Yes, sir. You can see it.
Can you see
Yes,
that?
you can see it. Yeah. Like
Yes.
natural.
To the
It's
skin tone.
natural color.
I tend to like my brown, you understand? I really want my skin tone to look natural. Now, this is not so much an editing problem as much as it is a lighting thing. If you are able to light and you are able to light well, then it will be easier for you to harness real, natural looking skin tones. What tends to happen is that a lot of people shoot overexposed images. You put the image in your Capture One or your Lightroom and you're unable to highlight, for example, and you really can't do anything with the image. The reason why we're able to create soft grade like this is because already straight from camera, the image was already looking good. So I want you to develop the habit of knowing how to get this image straight from camera. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me go back to our previous image. And now I'm trying to show you another grade. I'm still working on the shadows. And instead of blue, I want to add some warmer feel. Can you see that the image has changed completely? It is still very different from this one. But I feel like I'm even starting to like this. Do you understand? I'm starting to like the feel of this image. Let's go back to the hair. The black is black. The skin tone is really nice. The orange is popping. Nonetheless, it is still very different from this one. Okay, so there are 1,000,001 ways with which you can color grade. There is no one size fits all. Okay, you just need to understand how to wield color, how to read color. And reading color doesn't start from when you put your picture in your editing software. Reading color starts from your general knowledge of what color is. If I showed you blue and I said to you, what color is this? And you are seeing purple, then you are seeing differently from what other people are seeing. So that doesn't make you bad. That just makes you very unique. So you need to start harnessing the uniqueness of how you see color. You need to get in tune with the colors that you like. What are the colors that you like? What are the colors that you don't like? The moment we saw that she was wearing orange, we automatically knew that we wanted to shoot the image against an orange background. Now, if I wanted to create a lot more contrast, I would shoot the image in a darker background. I could use dark gray, I could use mustard, I could use green, all of which would give us a different feel, all of which will create a different image when we want to color grade. But the first point of reference is that number one, you must know how to use your lighting. You must know how to use lighting to create the right mood, to create the right story, to create.
We can hear you, sir.
So I'm looking at these two images, and the reason why I put these two images is just to reiterate the point that I made earlier, stating that you can change a raw file into anything that you want. You understand? You can make it look anyhow that you want. You understand? So this is one image that has a lot more greens. Sorry, this is an image that has a lot more green and a lot more yellow and magenta. Another picture to see what the grade would look like. 1 second. Ignore this. We're getting to this. Most of you probably missed this part. Yes. Okay, cool. How many of you are conversant with black and white?
No, really, like not so much.
Black and white is also another aspect of color grade. And I'll tell you how to get the best black and white. Watch, very, very simple. You don't need any filter. You don't need any preset. Just look at this. Desaturate the image.
I do love black and white.
Okay? Desaturate the image to 100. Reduce the exposure a little bit. Increase the contrast. And that is your black and white image there. There's really nothing to it. Saturate the image. If you need to reduce the exposure, and then increase your contrast. This is a very easy way to get your black and white shot. So this is another form of color grade, albeit there is no color in the image, but this is another way that you can easily transform your image. The next aspect of color grade I'm going to show you is something that many of us do not pay attention to, and it's your Kelvin. Your Kelvin is this knob here. We all have Kelvin in our cameras, and many people would either shoot white balance of Kelvin, they would either shoot custom white balance, or they would shoot daylight, shade, and all of that. So I've skipped all of that. I'm not interested in daylight or shade or cloud. I just shoot Kelvin, and I tend to always shoot my images at 4,800 Kelvin. So I am going to try my best to show you what that means, so that it will be easy for you to follow through. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
We can hear you. We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
That's great. Okay, so if you look at this image here, you guys can see this picture.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, It says daylight, shade, cloudy, flash, fluorescent, something. Every time that you are shooting your images at any of this white balance, then it tends to give you certain type of color hue to your image. So this is another thing that you need to learn so that you can also understand colors. So you can see that this at this Kelvin, you have 10,000 to 15,000. Here at 6,000, these are the type of colors that you're going to be getting. Do you understand? So we really want to know, when should I shoot what? I don't want to have to be cracking my head when I go out, okay, maybe I should shoot cloudy. Maybe I should shoot shade. It doesn't really work like that. For me, I will just keep my white balance at a particular Kelvin. If I put my pictures on the system and I think that it is too cold, I can maybe make it warm. If I think that it is too warm, I can maybe make it cold. So on the white balance spectrum, the lower you go from 4008 all the way, you can see the colors that are changing. You are moving from warm to cooler colors. And warmer colors are more yellow, orange, red, you understand? Those are where you would find the warmer tones. But on the cooler tones, you're looking at blue, you're looking at purple, you're looking at sometimes magenta, you understand? Again, how do you want to translate your image, okay? If you're a blue kind of guy, then fine, stay here. If you're not and you want maybe something that is warm, what I can say to you is that the moment here, I've already added some colors to the skin. So this can be my first point of reference before I start doing all that stuff that I showed you guys. Contrast, reducing of exposure, reduction of red. See what is happening as I'm reducing the red, and then I can come to the blues and add some tones here, and then I can still come over to what they call that stuff again, skin tone. Where is that skin tone? Yeah, skin tone here. Click on this place and add some of that skin tone back, and then I can come to my RGB here and reduce it. This is a completely different image from this one. This is the first image that we were working with, and this is the one that we've already done. But can anybody just tell me what the differences are?
The temperature.
The second one is warmer.
The last one does it is warmer.
This is warmer, okay? But does that make it bad?
No.
No,
not at all.
It doesn't make it bad. Okay. Can anyone see that there is a hint of green on the hair? Just a little bit of a hint.
Yes.
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 Good. You can take that off in Photoshop if you wanted to, or ideally I would say take it off here. I would come back to this advanced place, select the color. Okay, so I've clicked on it to select it, and then I can desaturate. So when I desaturate, you see that the hint of green starts to disappear. Selective color is one very good way that you can color grade your image. Yes,